Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurates India AI Impact Expo 2026 at Bharat Mandapam in New Delhi. Exhibition features around 600 startups from 13 countries across the globe. The UK announces plans for a social media ban for children under 16 on similar lines as Australia. US President Trump sets a 30-day deadline for Iran deal as talks on nuclear negotiations set to resume in Geneva. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated the India AI Impact Expo 2026 in New Delhi's Bharat Mandapam. The India AI Impact Expo 2026 is being held alongside the India AI Impact Summit at Bharat Mandapam. Spread across 10 arenas covering more than 70,000 square meters, the expo brings together global technology firms, startups, academia and research institutions, union ministries, state governments and international partners. The expo also features 13 country pavilions, including those from Australia, Japan, Russia and the UK. The pavilions highlight international collaboration in the AI ecosystem. It's hosting over 300 curated exhibition pavilions and live demonstrations structured across 3 thematic chakras: people, planet and progress. In addition, the expo features over 600 high-potential startups, many of them building globally relevant and population-scale solutions. Union Electronics and Information Technology Minister Ashwini Vaishnav today said India's rapidly expanding creator economy is being powered by the country's strong digital infrastructure and skilled population. In a conversation during the session on the official satellite event of the AI Impact Summit 2026 in New Delhi, the minister highlighted the transformative impact of artificial intelligence across sectors. Vaishnav further said that the India AI Impact Summit aims to understand AI's real impact on human society and expressed hope that the deliberations during the event would yield meaningful outcomes.
We as a country believe in the creators, the value that the creators have brought in either through their content or through their different ways of expressing themselves, different ways of telling the story. In fact, that is one of the reasons our country hosts a large number of global capability centers. If the creators get a chance to deploy their skills, protect their copyrights, protect the fruits of their creative energy, then the growth between today and tomorrow will be very high.
The India AI Impact Summit 2026 is bringing together policymakers, industry leaders, startup founders and academicians for a wide-ranging conversation on artificial intelligence. South Asia lead Sustainable Impact HP Inc. Hitesh Sharma spoke about how AI is reshaping India's job market.
When it comes to the nature of workforce in India, it provides an opportunity to bring in larger set of use cases. And that's where we see a huge potential to be able to not just deliver, but actually learn from bottom up and bring it back into our offerings. So I think it's more of a cross-pollination and learning and delivering.
At the India AI Impact Summit 2026, Ananya Sharma of Beyond Key highlights how AI is transforming business workflows globally. He sees India taking a major leap in AI adoption, awareness and tech-driven digital transformation.
This is something that will really kickstart the AI trend in India. So as of now, as we can see, China and all these countries, they are way ahead of India. But I personally believe that this is the kickstart what India was needing. And I'm sure that this will bring in a lot of business and awareness about AI within the tech community especially.
All right, and joining us live is our correspondent Tapas Bhattacharya. Hi Tapas, a very good evening to you. Tapas, just a while back, Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated India AI Impact Expo 2026. We saw the visuals wherein Prime Minister Narendra Modi was talking to the companies and the startups as well. Talk to us a bit about this expo and how significant is this expo?
Huge. In fact, Siddharth, I have to say that India is looking for $100 billion US dollar commitment through this particular AI summit. India has the potential. India has the software prowess. What it requires is a leapfrog in terms of hardware, especially in terms of chip designing, chip manufacturing, and that too a cutting-edge chip manufacturing hub in the country. So that's something that India has been talking about. The two countries which are ahead of India in terms of design and a whole ecosystem is that of China and United States. And India wants to actually take a leaf out of both countries and see how they can get the best of the best brains, best of the best companies coming in the country and manufacture, make in India for the world. So that's one of the reasons why AI Summit and Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated it. He met with the leaders of the companies, of the people who are there in that expo, get an idea of exactly how India's progress is happening in the AI sector. That's a huge point that we've been talking about in the last 3 to 4 years. India has actually come a long way. In fact, India's AI mission, where they have been, have put almost 36,000 crore and actually have spoken about the fact that they will provide GPUs to the companies.
Right.
It's showing the fact that the government is serious, the state machinery is serious, AI is here to stay, and what a better way to make the most of it. So that is one. Today we saw some of the private companies coming up with their own AI model. BharatGen actually came up with their language model, which they believe that can actually provide a lot of push to Indians, especially when it comes to language. 22 languages they want to put their emphasis on. So we see this AI summit. It's an AI summit, but it's a summit where India is expected to have a major say. India is expected to play a role of South-South cooperation. India has always said that we are Vishwaguru, and what a better way to show the world that here they are talking about AI not just for themselves but for the world and for the global South as well. Siddharth.
Definitely, you put that right, Tapas. India is voice of global South, and when it comes to artificial intelligence, India has always advocated a constructive use of artificial intelligence. AI is here to stay, you said that right. Tapas, also today, India AI Impact Summit 2026 has started, and you've been thoroughly covering that this summit throughout the day. You've been talking to people. What is their perspective? What are they thinking, especially the foreign dignitaries who are there at Bharat Mandapam where this summit is happening? What are they thinking? What is their views, when it comes to India hosting this level of summit on such a big level where people from all over the world are coming here and exchanging ideas and, for that matter, technologies also, and talking to each other, taking out something from this summit, for which Prime Minister Narendra Modi also expressed optimism, when it comes to the outcome of the summit. He welcomed all the leaders, he welcomed the innovators. So what are they saying?
Well, there's one word that comes to my mind, and you rightly said that, it's optimism, positivity. Everyone we spoke to, they are gung-ho. They believe that India has arrived when it comes to AI. They are very clear that ethical AI, that's something that India has been talking about. That should be a major focus arena, not just for countries, but also for companies. So that is one part of it. The second part is percolating of the value and the benefit of AI to the common man. As of now, we know that artificial intelligence is run or controlled by select few. Now, how you democratize that, how you provide the power to the people, how you provide that to those who require it the most. So that's something that we've been talking about. Different ideas and ideas, innovation. That is another thing that we saw in this AI summit. The first day, first show was absolute hit among the people. I spoke to one chap, one businessman. He's and I was talking to him, and because we follow cricket so much that even in our Delhi parlance, the cricket comes in quite often. And he mentioned a very interesting fact. He said it's a 5-day test cricket of AI summit happening in Delhi, Taposh. And the first day, fantastic. We believe in the next 5 days, India will show the world what it is and how it has arrived in the arena. And that's something that we need to talk about. We have top companies coming in India, top countries coming in India, head honchos of big companies, putting their money in the country. And at the same time, we saw startups, small startups, taking up, small problems, taking it up and making their AI work on that solution. So all these things is happening under one umbrella. So that's one part of it. And when you talk to them, when you speak to them about how do they want to go about it, they say they are very optimistic about India, not just stamping their authority in the AI sector, artificial sector, but they say, in fact, they quote Prime Minister Narendra Modi, say that artificial intelligence, that's one AI, and then this Aspiration India, that is there. And they say that here we are, Aspiration India coming to the fore, want to become a Viksit Bharat by 2047. That's the motto. That's what is galvanizing the whole scientific community to take India forward. Siddharth.
Well, definitely, Tapas, and you said that right. It's a 5-day test cricket, and the first day was absolutely phenomenal. We'll have to wait and see, but we are hopeful and very much optimistic. That's the word which came to your mind as well, that this will be a phenomenal summit, and this summit has already shown the world what India is capable of, also as far as the artificial intelligence is concerned. Thank you so much. We leave it there, Tapas. DD India's Deepika has more on a thematic session on operationalizing open source AI pathway to sovereignty, which was held on Monday at the summit.
The India AI Impact Summit 2026 kick-started on 16 February at New Delhi's Bharat Mandapam. This is the first global AI summit which is being hosted in the Global South. As a 5-day program, the summit covers policy, research, industry and public engagement. With multiple sessions being held across 5 days of the summit, industry leaders are exchanging thoughts and encouraging young minds. On the sidelines of this, operationalizing open source AI pathway to sovereignty was one of the sessions in which global industry leaders, including Cohere, Nvidia, Mozilla, participated. Speaking during the session, Joel Pinau, Chief AI Officer of Cohere, said that having regulation is important for all the states and countries. Mozilla's president Mark Surman added to the discussion, saying that technology can deliver to the country when it's taken proper care of. The India AI Impact Summit is one of its kind summit across the Global South that ensures not only regulation but the democratization of AI.
The India AI Impact Summit 2026 kicks off in great style at New Delhi's Bharat Mandapam. It is witnessing the participation of global technology-related industry leaders, right from Nvidia to Mozilla to Google. Everyone is coming here to New Delhi to participate in this one-of-a-kind event, which is taking place for the first time in the Global South. Today, we witnessed one of the sessions that discussed the regulation of AI and the democratization of it as well. We'll keep bringing you all the latest from Ground Zero. Keep watching DD India for following the latest on the India AI Impact Summit. With camera person Sumit Nadial, this is Deepika reporting for DD India from Bharat Mandapam, New Delhi.
And still to come on this edition of DD India Live. EU commissioned to attend Trump's Board of Peace meeting as observer. Greenland's capital Nuuk registered its warmest ever January.
Tamil Nadu.
You're watching DD Live. I am Siddharth Bharadwaj, and Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi met with the chief of the United Nations nuclear watchdog, the IAEA, on Monday ahead of US-Iran nuclear talks to tackle their dispute over Tehran's nuclear program. The two sides held indirect talks earlier this month in Oman. While Washington has sought to expand the scope of talks to non-nuclear issues like Iran's missile stockpile, Tehran says it is only willing to discuss curbs on its nuclear program in exchange for sanctions relief and won't accept zero uranium enrichment. US President Donald Trump has set a 30-day deadline for Iran. Meanwhile, US Secretary of State has said that it will be hard to make deal with Iran.
With Iran is not easy. I said it yesterday, I'll repeat it again today. I mean, we have to understand that Iran ultimately is governed, and its decisions are governed by Shia clerics, radical Shia clerics, okay? These people make policy decisions on the basis of pure theology. That's how they make their decisions. So it's hard to do a deal with Iran. We've always said it's hard, but we're going to try. That's what the president is trying. We're hopeful there's a deal. The president always prefers peaceful outcomes and negotiated outcomes to things.
US President Donald Trump said Board of Peace member states will announce a pledge of more than $5 billion for reconstruction and humanitarian efforts in Gaza at an upcoming meeting on Thursday. In a post on Truth Social on Sunday, Trump wrote that member states have also committed thousands of personnel toward a UN-authorized stabilization force and local police in the Palestinian enclave. The US President said the first official meeting of the group will take place at the Donald J. Trump Institute of Peace. Delegations from more than 20 countries, including heads of state, are expected to attend. The board's creation was endorsed by United Nations Security Council resolution as part of the Trump administration's plan to end the conflict between Israel and Hamas in Gaza. European Union has said that bloc will take part in this week's inaugural meeting of US President Donald Trump's Board of Peace, but not as a member. The European Commissioner for the Mediterranean, Dubravka Šuica, will head to Washington to represent the EU at the meeting Thursday. The trilateral talks between Russia, Ukraine and the United States are due to take place on Tuesday and Wednesday. Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov stated that discussions will focus on the main issues, including territories and other demands put forward by Moscow. The Russian delegation will be led by presidential aide Vladimir Medinsky, with military intelligence chief Igor Khyovskov also participating. In fact, meanwhile, President Vladimir Putin's special envoy Kirill Dmitriev will join a separate working group focusing on economic issues. The return of Medinsky, who led the Russian team at earlier talks in Turkey in 2022 and again last year, could signal that Russia expects the focus to move beyond security issues to broader points of disagreement between the two sides. Meanwhile, Russia's defense ministry said claims, in fact, that its troops have taken the village of Tvitskove in Ukraine's southeastern Zaporizhzhia region. Now, Russia controls about 75% of the Zaporizhzhia region. The Kremlin said Monday that it strongly rejected an assessment by 5 European countries that Russian opposition leader Alexei Navalny died from poisoning 2 years ago, as his supporters marked the anniversary of his death in prison. Britain, Sweden, France, Germany and the Netherlands issued a joint statement on Saturday saying they believed he had been poisoned with apibatidine. Navalny died in an Arctic prison colony in February 2024. Russian authorities designated Navalny and his organization extremist before his death, and anyone who mentions him or his exiled anti-corruption foundation are liable for prosecution. Governments around the world are tightening the rules on children's access to social media. Latest is United Kingdom. UK government is seeking to broader pass to regulate internet access. Prime Minister Starmer said no online platform will get a free pass on children's safety on the internet in new plans, adding that the move was initiated to protect children from fast-changing digital risks. The new pass are likely to lead to reduced parliamentary scrutiny of future curbs. The BER International Airport in Berlin has long made headlines for its 14-year construction and the fact that it came in way over budget. But it's been in service for years now, and soon there'll be more international flight too. Lars Holter is with Deutsche Welle and joins me from Berlin. Hi Lars, what can you tell us, Lars?
Thanks for having me. Yes, indeed, that Berlin airport, BER, for all those who travel often, has long been a nightmare for all of Germany, built at a cost of 7 billion euros after 2 billion had originally been budgeted. But in fact, for almost 5 years now, the airport has been in business and is functioning well. And a new airline that will soon touch down here is said to be Emirates. The Dubai-based carrier had long planned to expand its footprint in Europe, where it has long grown to be a major global connector with hubs in London and Paris, and within Germany flying to and from Frankfurt and Munich, as well as smaller airports in Hamburg and Düsseldorf. And now Berlin. German Chancellor Friedrich Merz was part of the negotiations a few weeks back when he was touring the Arab region. It's unclear how happy they are at Emirates, though, because for now only 2 takeoffs and 2 landings a week are scheduled, connecting Berlin and Dubai. But they had been asking for 5, so almost daily connections. And indeed, many in the airline business are saying that airlines need daily connections to really integrate new destinations into their global networks.
Okay, Lars, what's the mood in the airline business in Germany anyway?
It is tense for a number of reasons. Germany has high fees at the airports. Cost for security is high too. Many international airlines have said that flying in Europe and especially Germany is economically less attractive than other markets. Also, there are new risks that the companies need to be dealing with, drones namely, with airports currently investing in 5G and AI-based technology to safeguard their airspace. All that costs a lot of money, which means, of course, fees for the airlines will likely not go down anytime soon. So it's not really surprising that the last things many in the field want is more competition. But it's coming, even though, like I said, with much fewer flights and less force than was to be expected.
All right, and let's see what's happening around the world. 5 people were injured after a train derailed in the Swiss Alps near the settlement of Goppenstein on Monday. Police said that the cause of accident remains unknown. The 29 people on board were evacuated to Gopenstein and then by bus to the town of Gampel at the foot of the valley. Kenya's international airports on Monday experienced flight delays due to a labor dispute between the Aviation Workers Union and Kenya's Civil Aviation Authority, affecting certain departures and arrivals. Greenland's capital Nuuk registered its warmest ever January, beating a record that stood for 109 years as temperatures soared across the Arctic island's west coast. Nuuk registered an average monthly temperature of 0.1 Celsius, a whooping 7.8 degrees Celsius above the average for the month of January over the last 3 decades. An unbeaten 50 by Will Jacks and Sam Curran's 3-wicket haul steered England to a nervy 24-run win over Italy in the 2020 World Cup today. The win helped the two-time champions to progress to the Super 8 stage. Player of the match, Jacks hammered 53 of 22 deliveries to help England post 202 runs for the loss of 7 wickets, their highest total of the tournament. Italy's Ben Manenti struck a rapid 60 to keep the debutants in the game, but their efforts to pull off a huge upset all but ended when Curran dismissed Grant Stewart for 45 runs in the 19th over, and they were all out for 178 runs. England ended their Group C campaign with 3 wins and a loss to West Indies, who also qualified for the Super 8. That's all for this edition of DD India Live, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms, and you can scan the QR code on the screen to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live.